Hey guys, today we're going to work on our multiplying and dividing integers as well as our order of operations in order to prep for our test tomorrow. Don't forget that you need to be writing all of these down and practicing them, and when I tell you to pause, make sure you pause. So when we've been doing our positives and negatives, we have talked about multiplying and dividing. We can use two different types of things to help us out, and one of those is the triangle, where we put the plus on the top and two negatives on the bottom. You cover up what the question asks you, and then the answer will be what's left over. Or we've used the tic-tac-toe board, where you have the positives in a diagonal and the negatives everywhere else. Either one of those will tell you how to work with multiplying and dividing integers only. So write down these 10 problems. Press pause so that way you can work these out by yourself, and make sure you look at your signs. I'm going to press pause too, and when you press play again, you'll see all the answers. So I want you to try the answers on your own. Remember, you have your test tomorrow. So go ahead and press pause. Now check in your answers and make sure you got all the numbers right as well as all the signs. Remember, if it's a different sign on your paper than it is on my screen, then you did something wrong, and that's going to be marked as wrong. So make sure you do that correctly. We're going to move on to some order of operations problems. Now these two look a little different, and that's why I want to do them first, because they're both like fractions, but that's just a big division sign. So in order to work these out, we can't do dividing first because we don't have one number on top and one number on bottom. So write down this problem, this first one. What we first have to do is we have to do all of the top, and then we have to do all of the bottom. And then we can divide at the end. So this is a special kind of order of operations problem where we actually will add and subtract before we multiply and divide. So the first thing we need to do is negative 18 minus 2. Well, there's a subtraction sign, so we need to keep, change, change. And our song is same signs, keep, and add. So that will be a negative 20 on the top part of our fraction. Now on the bottom of it is negative 1 plus 6. We already have a plus sign here, so we don't need to keep change, change, but we are adding different signs, which means we subtract. So 6 minus 1 is positive 5. At this point, this is where we divide. So we have negative 20 divided by a positive 5, and a negative divided by a positive is a negative, and you get negative 4. So I want you to try the second one by yourself. So pause the video and write down that problem and try it by yourself. When we work this out, you'll have to do the top one first. So negative 45 divided by, that's a plus, negative 45 plus 3. So negative 45 plus 3 is negative 42, because we had to subtract those. On the bottom is negative 6 minus 1. Since there's a subtraction sign there, we keep, change, change. We'll end up adding that and get negative 7. Now we can actually divide these. A negative divided by negative is a positive, and 42 divided by 7 is positive 6. So if you have some questions on those, go back and redo those with me to help you out and help you understand those better. Now we're going to do 3 different order of operations problems to finish out this video. Now if you'll notice, these big dots right here, those mean multiply. Okay, that's not a decimal, those just mean multiply. So just keep that in mind as we're going through. So I'm going to do the first one with you, and then I want to have you do the other two. So the first one is 25 minus 11 times 3. So write that down. And then we need to talk about our order of operations. We have parentheses, exponents, multiply and divide from left to right, add and subtract from left to right. In here, we do have parentheses that need to be done first. So 25 minus 11 is 14. And we can drop those parentheses because there's nothing outside of it, and it's times 3. In order to do this, we actually have to multiply. So don't just try to do it in your head or guess. You actually have to multiply. 14 times 3, so 3 times 4 is 12. Carry your 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So that is positive 42. You just have to make sure that you solve using your order of operations. Okay, so I want you to write down number 2 and try it on your own. So pause the video so you can write that down and try it on your own using the order of operations. We should have 150 divided by 6 plus 3 times 8 minus 5. Look, there's a lot inside of those parentheses. There's 2 different things. We have addition and multiplication. When we look inside the parentheses, we have to do the order of operations. So in the parentheses, we have multiplication and addition. We have to do multiplying before we can add. So the 3 times 8 is 24. There's no negatives with that. And then we just bring down everything else. We have to finish the parentheses out by doing 6 plus 24, which is 30. And because there's a division sign out here, we can drop the parentheses and just bring down everything else. Now, since we are done with parentheses, we have to look and see, okay, well, I have division and subtraction. Division has to come before subtraction. So 150 divided by 30, you haven't already worked that out, that's 5. And then we have 5 minus 5, which is 0. All right, and this last one, you're going to need to make sure you write down, and again, try it on your own. 5 times 8 times 6 divided by 6 minus 12 times 2. That might actually be a plus sign, not a times. So rewrite that. 5 times 8 plus 6. Sorry about that. Okay, so pause it, try it on your own. On this one, we don't have any parentheses, we don't have any exponents. We're just starting with 5 times 8. 5 times 8 is 40. You're going to bring down your plus, your 6 divided by 6, your minus 12 times 2. All right. Next, we're going to do, we did multiplying and dividing from left to right. So we have to do 6 divided by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. So, should have done that in green. So that's 40. Bring down what's left. Plus 1 minus 12 times 2. We're still not done multiplying and dividing yet. Notice that this is a negative 12 times 2. The sign has to go with the number. So negative times a positive is a negative, and that'll be negative 24. Bring everything else down. 40 plus 1 minus 24. Then we can just add and subtract. 40 plus 1 is 41. 41 minus 24. We're going to have to subtract that to the side. 1 minus 4, we can't do it. You have to borrow. 11 minus 4 is 7. 3 minus 2 is 1. You have positive 17 as your answer. If you have any more questions about how to work on order of operations, go back to your notes and do some of those practice ones, especially with negatives. A lot of these didn't have negatives on them. So just keep in mind that you will have some questions with the negatives. Good luck.